Really? Look at. There we go. Hey, man. Welcome back to the Super Divorce YouTube channel. Nicholas Vlars here, aka Super Divorce. Also on the Twitch channel and the X station, wherever you happen to be. Hello! Welcome to the Friday night Chillout Zone. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Go to Chillout Zone! Well, 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 too. Well, well, well. Go to the Chillout compartment. How's it going? Ronnie Rad's here. Anyone else? Maybe not yet. Maybe no one else just yet. That's all right. Because I'm not going to start streaming. Well, you know what? Look at the little television set right there. That's as good as it's going to get as far as me showing you footage of Curse the Swamp Creature. I can't show you anything else. Hi, Jess. Jess is here. Good brother's been chillaxing. That's good. That's good. That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear from everyone about the chillaxing and the whale, whale, whales. Going back to the whale one too many times. 6 whales already. Here's the deal. I can't show you the movie we're going to watch. Even though it's in the public domain, I can't show it to you. I can't show it to you. I can't show you anything when it comes to movies. They won't let me. We tried last time on the Friday night Chill Out Zone, and it was just a disaster. And I did a little searching, and I was able to find, I think, maybe an explanation as to why. You see, the YouTube flagging system is very sensitive, and it can be triggered falsely. It can be triggered, when I say falsely, I mean it could be an honest mistake. It could be that someone else is hosting the movie on YouTube and they uploaded a copyright-free, royalty-free, public domain film, and then the content ID tracker sort of pins it to their channel. And then they'll be like, well, hold on a second. Someone else is using this. It belongs to this channel. And then they'll just hack it. They hack it and whack it, and they whack you off in the middle of your stream. That's what happened to me. I got whacked off 2 times. And then your stream gets taken down. There's no warning either. It just stops. And so it could be a false positive like that, or it could be something malicious. There are agencies, there are groups of people out there who abuse the copyright system. They will go ahead and register various works within the public domain as their own. And they'll say, hold on, that belongs to me, even though it doesn't belong to anyone. It's for the world. It's for the world now, these public domain works. But then these ne'er-do-wells, or ne'ers-do-well, they go behind the backs of everyone, and then they try to claim these things as their own. And they rake in piles and piles of cash for themselves by this completely dishonest method of money collection. It's a racket. It's an absolute racket. It's horse shit. It should not be allowed. But just because something shouldn't be allowed doesn't mean that stops it from happening, as we all know. So that's the deal with that. Now, let me try to go ahead and do something with this chat. Can I do this? Is it going to let me? I'm trying to put the chat up here for fun. I'm trying to put the chat up for fun. I'm just going to stretch it out like that. Look at that. Look how ugly that is. and it's ugly and it's nasty, and in a way it only adds to the mystique. But there's something about it that I don't like. There's something I don't like. I don't like this this top part. So I'm gonna crop the top. Let's try. No, how about that's better. That's looking better to me. Still looks nice and shitty, but it's better than it was. And then I can go ahead and affix it right about there. And then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to drag this down to about right there. Now look how shitty that is. But it's kind of awesome. And that's how we're going to roll with that, I think. Okay. Now, let me, where'd my chat go here? Where'd the other chat go? There. I want to pop that out. Pop off a piece of that chat for myself. Good brother can't watch because he's on mobile. Well, I'll try to, oh, I see that Ronnie said that he's been reporting my channel. That makes sense. I get it. I get it. Understandable. No big deal. Yeah, violations relating to Homeland Security. That's because I was just flying in the air on airplanes recently. Just returned home from Las Vegas. And I just found out you're going to have... I flew at the perfect time. Because starting on, I think, May 1st, May 10th, sometime in May, you're going to have a real ID, they call it. A real ID. As if my regular ID is not real. My regular state-issued Ohio driver's license isn't real. In the eyes of the law, in the eyes of TSA, in the eyes of Ronnie. Because he's part of the problem now. He's just joined the ranks of TSA, so he's going to be stopping and harassing you probably whenever you go through his airport, copping a feel. That's what he's going to be up to now. Which they try to do. I told that story. I don't think... Were you here? I don't know if Ronnie was here when I told that story. About how I went through... This is a few days ago. I walked through the x-ray machine where you got to hold your hands up. You got to do the diamond cutter like this. And they yell at you if your feet aren't perfectly lined up on the yellow feet pads where they put the little feet outlines. You know, that's a big deal to them. That's a huge deal to the TSA people. If your toe is askew at all. Hey! You got to stand on the yellow feet. But anyway, I go through. You do the thing and they're like, all right, you're good. And then I walk through, and then the lady on the other side of the scanner looks to a gentleman standing next to her, and she says, "Did you want to pat him down now?" And he was like kind of confused. He's like, "No." Because I just went through the scanner, and I had been given an all clear. I didn't have any foreign objects on me. Everything checked out. But then she was like, "You want to pat him down?" Just for fun. They're sending Ronnie to Vegas for training. Are they really? That's something else. Are you going to do any live streams from Vegas, Ronnie? Las Vegas. Why don't you stream the entire training section of your trip and upload it so everyone can see what people at TSA are getting up to? You can be a whistleblower. Public service. Even. Let me try that. Okay, so he confirms real ID May 7th, he thinks. Huh. May 7th. I don't get that. I just don't understand the real ID. It's all a racket. I think it's a big racket. It's another way to get you back to your local DMV to have to pay more money for another fucking ID. They already make you go and update your current regular driver's license, however many years you got to do that. Was it every, I don't know, every fucking, I don't care. Every 5? Is it every 5? I don't remember the last time I went and had that done, but it's like, well, you got to get your picture taken again. They got to make sure you're the same guy or the same girl. Got to update that pic. You know, some people get their pictures taken and then they make these drastic changes to their appearance like a week later, and you can't even tell it's the same guy or the same girl. And then what? Then they hassle you. Then you get more hassling because you look too different. Maybe you cleaned up too much. You got a nice fresh buzz cut. You had long hair like this, and then you go and you get a fresh buzz cut and you shave your facial hair off, and like, hold on a second. That happened to me. That happened to me when I was going to my friend's wedding back in 2020, right before COVID hit. And I had gotten a very, very close cut. And I went almost clean shaven. Shortest my hair has been in years. And I got up there and handed my ID and my driver's license picture. You know, I look much like Rasputin, you know? And they're looking at it and they look at me. And look at it and look at me. And the lady is like... And she kind of like rolled her eyes. Like I was trying to pull a fast one. And I was like, I promise, it's me. I just got a makeover. Let's call it a makeover. And then she had to call someone. They kind of look at it. And was like, yeah, I guess it's the same fucking guy. You know? Yeah, go to Vegas, steal my grift by all means. Yeah, you know what? They did do that. Ronnie said they have facial scanners now that check your face shape. Yeah, you had to, because now that was a new thing. I had not had to do that before. You had to stand in front of the camera and stare straight ahead. And it was like, don't move. Don't move. We've got to scan your face. Hold on. Now the guy has to look at your ID, and then the computer has to scan your face. And then the computer will say, all right, all done. But they say, don't move yet because it's not really done. And if you move, that messes it up. And the whole thing's just a complete shit show. Everything at the airport has to be a shit show now. It's all crazy. It's all crazy. They just make it as complicated as possible, really. You know? From A to Z, every step you have to take at the airport, they just complicate the shit as much as they can. I won't go through the whole bag check thing again because that was something else. But you know what I'm talking about if you're a frequent flyer. Well, we've gotten a few minutes in here, and I guess it's time to go ahead and start Curse of the Swamp Creature from 1966, a Larry Buchanan film. If you look in the description below, you can find a link to it. I placed that in the description. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat too. That will take you to Curse the Swamp Creature, and I'll give you a countdown before I start it. That way, if you'd like to start it at the same time, it'll be an option for you. And you know what? I'll maybe every 20 minutes, I'll do a little pause. That might be good. Or if anyone joins in and they ask, hey, where are you? Then I'll pause it and kind of put the timestamp in so everyone can get caught up if they want to. Good Brother said he'll never fly again. The TSA is a joke. He got roped into the enhanced license last time. He had to re-up his license. No options. So have they stopped doing just a regular ID? Is the real ID the only thing you can do now? Because when I re-upped last time, I had the option. It was like, do you want the regular ID or do you want the real ID? And I was like, well, what's the difference? Do I have to have the real ID? And they're like, no, you don't have to have it yet. It's more expensive, but you're going to need it sometime. And I was like, all right, well, I'll hold off. I'll come back and get it when I need it. How about that? And they were bummed out about it, because it's just like upselling. They're upselling you at the fucking DMV. Like you're buying a fucking a medium popcorn at the local cinemas and it's not good enough. You're spending your money and like, well, hold on a second. For 35 cents extra, you can double the amount. And you're like, okay, fine. Though it's not even double the amount anymore. It's like, give me a small popcorn. And then they hold up a Dixie cup. It's like, well, here's what you're getting for $8. A Dixie cup size container of popcorn. That's $8. For just $10 more, you can get a trash bag full. And it's like, all right, fine. I guess that's worth it. Because I'm going to eat that Dixie cup worth of popcorn in the first 30 seconds of the previews. And heaven forbid they give you free refills anymore. It's just everywhere you go, you're getting fleeced. Everywhere you go, people want to pull one over on you. They can't just offer you a good deal right out the gate. And they can't just accept your order anymore. It's always got to be an upsell. Well, you're getting this for this, but did you know you could... Yeah, or you could just give me what I ordered. And I'm not blaming the workers. I know that they're forced into it. We noticed your upselling isn't quite hitting the mark lately. You're only batting a 30% conversion rate. We need that up to at least 75%, or we're gonna have to promote you to customer. Ronnie says TSA is not a joke. From my experience, I am going to agree with Good Brother. Oh man. Woo boy. You should have seen some of the TSA workers that I saw this past week. Just the word bumbling comes to mind. It's like, and I'm not saying that all of them are awful, but many of them that I saw were bumbling, absolute bumblers. It's like looking around, I'm thinking if these people here, if the dudes that I see running around right now, if these guys are tasked with like making sure that career terrorists aren't going to be on my plane, it's not good for me. It's not looking good. Hopefully there are no terrorists trying to get in, because if they want in, getting past the bumblers probably not going to be the hardest thing they've ever done. That's how I feel. I mean, bumbling. Like, there was one particular scene I was watching play out, and it was like the Bulk and Skull music should have been playing. Like the bags were backing up on the conveyor that they had to check, and there were like three of these guys. They're all like, there's like one kind of chunky fat dude, little frumpy guy. There was a skinny one. You know, they're all like super nerdy. None of them look sure about what they were doing. It's like they're doing that thing where they were walking back and forth. They go up to a bag they're trying to check, and then a guy leaves, and then the bag's just sitting there, and they go over and group up, and they're like talking to each other and like looking around. Like, you don't want to see that from the people who are tasked with like carrying out security detail. They're there to supposedly keep everybody safe, but you see them, they're just bumbling. And you're watching this, and then they do the thing, and they're like looking around, and then talk to each other again, like referees who don't know what's going on in a football game. Whose call was it? What did you see? Did you see that? Did you see that? And like the bags are backing up, and then go over and like look at something, and then leave it and walk away. And it's like, what is happening right now? What's going on? And yeah, the Balkan skull music should have been playing. But this was not in Ohio. This was at the... What was it? I want to say that was the Chicago Midway. It wasn't O'Hare. It was the other one. Midway, Chicago. Is, I think, where what I was just talking about was going on. Where they just had no clue what was happening. Jess confirms there was much bumbling. Ronnie can't talk about much because he's not allowed to, but people who are incapable of catching things on the scanner don't stick around long. Those bumblers are still doing their job. Oh, that was in Vegas? That was in the Vegas airport, was it? Well, Midway was a shit show too. Midway was kind of a dump, especially coming from the Las Vegas airport. I mean, yeah, there was bumbling going on there, I guess. But I think Midway was a dump. I think the Cincinnati airport's a lot nicer than Midway is. Cincy is kind of humble. You know, it's a bit on the small side, especially if you come from if you just depart from a really large airport like the Vegas one, and then you come into Cincinnati. It's like you get off your plane in Vegas, and there are slot machines like right in front of you. They've got them like in the terminals, you know, where people are waiting, and it's just like a huge mall, you know. The Cincy airport is humble, but it's nice. It's clean. It's well taken care of. That Chicago one, that Midway, yeah, that was a dump. I'd been to O'Hare before. I'd never been to Midway. I didn't realize there was another one besides O'Hare. And then I walked in and I was like, hold on a second. I've flown into Chicago before. This doesn't seem right. Where am I? And it's like, welcome to Midway. I was like, what? Midway? It's like the fucking Kroger brand. Not even that. Not even Kroger brand. It'd be like the Dollar General brand. Anyway, hello, Jorfus. How's it going? Good evening. You're in the middle of Duolingo. All right. Well, enjoy your Duolingo. I'm going to go ahead and start this film. Curse of the Swamp Creature. I'll give you guys a countdown. So prepare. I'll give you a minute to click on over if you haven't yet. If you want to pull up the video for yourself. Curse of the Swamp Creature. From Larry Buchanan. If you want to know a little about it here, it says, in an isolated laboratory deep in the swamp lands of Texas, a mad doctor conducts experiments on the locals to discover the secrets of evolution. Evolution is a mystery, full of change and no one sees. Now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. It says here, American International Pictures. Breathe, live, breathe. A mad scientist just yelled at a big, it was like a vat of smoke, and then some monster hands were like this. I don't know what that's about. I've made myself a bowl of popcorn that I can crunch right into the microphone. Mad scientist is walking out of the house holding a body wrapped up probably in a sheet. Maybe it's dead. Maybe it's his blushing bride-to-be. He's in kind of a greenhouse, and he just tossed the body that was wrapped up in the sheet down to a crocodile. Is that a crocodile? Oh, funny. That's great. He tossed it down to a crocodile, and then they cut to what's clearly stock footage of crocodiles not in a small greenhouse pool, but like at a lake or a river somewhere. Are they crocs or are they gators? And now a black guy just jumped out of the bushes and said, "I'm looking for my brother." And then the scientist starts to run away, and the black man's attacking him now. And here comes what looks like an Indian man who jumps on the black man's back and stabs him right in the heart. And now he's helping up the kind of skinny, frail-looking, balding white scientist. He stands over the dead black man. He said, "If you're looking for your brother, join your brother." He's telling his Indian friend, not like Native American, like an Indian. I think he's Indian. He's like, "I don't want people around here. I said no one comes in the swamp." And now he's very slowly taking off his sunglasses and smiles. A slightly crooked smile. And I guess the movie's on now. It's Azalea Pictures presents Curse of the Swamp Creature. Good Brother's glad he's not watching. He's trying to imagine the movie through my narration. He said it's primo. Well, good. We're getting a slow pan in to a kind of totem pole of some sort. Like a native carving. A big piece of wood with a face carved into it. Ronnie says, Mystery Science Theater 3000, but worse in every way. Well, that's what we're going for here. So, I'm round target. The Flying Fish. We're zooming into the Flying Fish. It's a big building. Maybe a fishery. We got a couple ladies with like 1960s hairstyles. A big, what do they call that? A bouffant. She walked up to a bar. The bouffant lady, she's wearing a green dress. She turns to a guy to her right who's wearing a blue shirt, and she says, "Some weather." The lady's Brenda Simmons. She's talking to Driscoll West. She said he looks lonely. And he's like, you can cure that? And she's like, I can try. She said, and then she took a drink. He's just here on business. She's a bookkeeper for the hotel. And he says, you look like a bookkeeper. I didn't realize bookkeepers have a look. I guess bouffant and green dress is bookkeeperish. Oh, that's the fucking... Is that the guy? That looked like the psycho guy in the doorway. Now, she's having a smoke. And he's like, you meet a lot of interesting people. And she's like, yeah. Please drink pee on camera. I have been this whole time, right here. That's pee. So now, this guy who looks like Anthony Perkins, that's his name, right? From Psycho. He is creeping into a hotel room. Now we're back at the bar. Driscoll is like, you live around here? Well, he's going to call it a day. Mr. Driscoll West, he's taken off. The bartender has said, you know what? Your drinks are on the house. He was going to leave, and he's like, you want another drink? He's like, nah, I'm going to head out. Let me pay my tab. And the guy's like, nope, I gotcha. Have another one. It's on the house. He said, well, in that case, I'll stick around for one fucking more. Now, those guys... They're back in the hotel room. This guy, Anthony Perkins, mixed with maybe Peter North. He's found a briefcase under the bed, and he's unfurling a map maybe from inside of it. Some espionage happening. Now we're back in the bar. And the lady, the bouffant lady, is flirting. And, oh, Driscoll just excused himself. I think he might be going to take a nice hot piss. Now, she's gotten up too. She's left the bar. She's gone back to the front desk. Oh, I guess the bar is in the hotel where she works, where she's the receptionist. And now, they're back in this room, and the guy is looking very hesitant. He picked up a phone. The guy in the hotel room picked up a phone, and he connected directly with the fucking bouffant lady, and she's like, get out of there. Now Driscoll's just walked into the hotel room. It was his room the whole time. It's been his room the whole time. And now they're fighting. Mr. Driscoll just punched Peter North in the face, and he's got him up. He slams him up against the fucking wall. Oh, a left hand, a right hand. He's thrown haymakers and knocked Peter North out cold, which is not what I expected, because Driscoll looks like he's probably about in his early 60s. He's kind of thick. He's a hefty guy, but he looks kind of old, a little elderly. But he just took out a fairly athletic-looking Peter North with just a few haymakers. And he's yanking him up by the scruff of his neck. He's got Peter North, a young Peter North. But what happened? They didn't show what happened. Oh, Peter North said, man, you shouldn't have tried to get rough with me. And he's staring at him with crazy eyes because he just stabbed him. But they didn't even show the stabbing. They only showed him putting a knife away. We are at here. Hold on. If you would like to go to 9 minutes and 10 seconds, that's where we are right now. You will see a man who looks like a young Peter North. Anthony Perkins. He's on a phone. Stop capsing at me. Stop all capsing at me. I do read the chat. That's why I just said it. You're welcome, Jorphus. All right. We're going to resume in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's saying, I need your help. He said the slob tried to get rough. All right, Bouffant lady. She said, I knew Richie was stupid, but not that stupid. Now she's asking another guy at the counter for help. And now they're going in. I think that was the bartender who she asked for help. So now everybody that we've met so far is in this hotel room where Richie, Peter North, Anthony Perkins just killed this guy. She asked what happened. He said he busted in here and tried to get tough. Bartender kind of throws his hands up, sits down on the bed. He said, we'll fix it to make it look like he checked out. The swamps don't tell tales. I think what they're going to do, they're going to check him out and then throw him to the gators probably. There's one hang up. The guy Richie just killed was expecting a visitor at the hotel. They have the maps now. Mr. West can't be here, right? So we send his wife. So the Bouffant receptionist is going to act like the wife of the guy they just killed and meet the guy who is coming to meet his guest who is due to show up soon. And then they're going to use the map to find whatever the fuck they're looking for. All right. The Bouffant receptionist now acting like the dead man's wife. The dead man, Driscoll West, is being dragged outside in bright daylight, and they're throwing his body into the back of some sort of car here, some sort of automobile. Broad daylight, didn't cover his body up or nothing. Didn't even take the time to wrap him in a sheet. They just dragged him out and tossed his ass right in the back. And now we are at, it looks like a marina. They've taken him to a marina. We see a boatman starting up some sort of vessel. And they rolled him right off the side of the boat before they left the marina. But it looks like he might have a rope attached to him, so I don't know what they're doing here. I'm not sure what's happening. They're showing a close-up of a man's hands operating some machinery, and you see this claw thing going up and down, and it's fairly nondescript. I don't know what I'm looking at. I see people are working. They're doing work. Now I said he had a rope tied around him when he was floating in the water. Now they're pulling the rope and he's coming back towards this vessel that they're on, or whatever this machine is. And it's got this kind of like, it's like a big metal arm with teeth on it. It's just going up and down. They just showed this metal arm, a close-up of this metal arm with teeth going like this. But it never did anything. It's not like his body got dragged into this big machine and then chopped up. Then they cut away completely, and now there's a plane landing. I'm not sure what I was supposed to take from any of that. I guess it's like, oh, they went to the marina, they tied a rope around him, they threw him in the water, then they turned on this machine with a metal arm that went like this, and then they started pulling his body through the water towards the choppy arm, and then they cut away and there's a plane landing. That's it. I didn't leave anything out. That's basically the thrust. Oh, and then they showed the close-ups of like the guy's hand operating the levers, I guess, to make the arm go up and down. But again, they never showed his body actually go through. I don't even know how it would have done it. I don't know how this machine that they showed, I wish that I could explain it better. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know what the fucking thing was. But just imagine a big metal arm like this, kind of a hooked arm with teeth on the bottom side of it, just moving up and down over the water. But there was not like a surface underneath that it was like clanging against. It was just kind of hovering above the water doing this. So even if they pulled his body into it, it would just maybe like push his body down into the water and then bob back up again. Okay, so now there's a new guy, I guess the guy who got off the airplane. This must be the guest of the guy that they killed. Now the guest is checking into the hotel. There's a new lady, a blonde lady now, who was working reception. She told the guy, "We'll take your luggage." Now they're back in the bar again. There's a man playing an old-fashioned pinball machine. Got some dun 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 dun. Some like early horn instrumental rock and roll. A little bit of some Jerry Lee Lewis piano. Okay, the original bartender is back behind the fucking reception desk. He hooked into a switchboard. He picked up a pair of headphones and he said, "He's here." Now the bartender walks into the bar and introduces himself to the guy who just got off the airplane who's checking in. So he's relaying the message now to the guy who got off the airplane. Mr. West couldn't be here. Driscoll West couldn't make it. He's actually sent his wife to meet with you. And the guy's like, his wife? But he's explaining. He's like, yeah, these oil men, man, sometimes they like to send their wives out to take care of business for them. He's like, all right, I guess so. Let's see what you got. Oh. His name is Mr. Rogers. Mrs. West comes up. But she's not really Mrs. West, you know. She's posing as Mrs. West so that she can get this guy to fuck off, I guess. And the guy seems a little smitten by her. He likes her bouffant. He's a big bouffant guy. Do you think there are many bouffant guys left in the world who really get turned on when they see a big bouffant? Or maybe they can't even get turned on at all unless the lady has a bouffant. They're looking for oil. I guess that's what's on the map. This guy, what? He's going to take her to the oil. And now she's holding hands with the guy who was the bartender initially. And then she kissed his hand. And they kind of had a moment. And now they're getting out of there. We found a video of me eating babies with Hillary Clinton. I Sounds like projection. Sounds like Ronnie's trying to admit something to the chat. I don't get into that. What's adrenochrome taste like? You tell me. You tell me, Ronnie. I'm not about all that. Okay, so now the two dudes. We got Peter North and his helper back at the... I guess this is where they dumped that guy's body. Looking around the swamp. Telling swamp tales. Yeah, I knew too many people who went in these swamps and never came out. Peter North's helper is like, a few weeks ago, one of the Creole boys said, I want you to help me to take my supplies in the swamp. And they said, no, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going in that swamp. Peter North's helper kind of looks like Ned Beatty from Deliverance, only he's wearing a straw hat. You say, there's some strange shit going on around here. Yeah, you just killed a guy. That's pretty strange. Now an elderly couple has walked up. Probably a guy in his early 70s. Lady about the same age. She's wearing a white cowboy hat. They're in a decently nice boat. Like a little speedboat. Heading up the bayou. So maybe this is a different location from where they dump the body. It looks like they're just taking these people out on like a sightseeing tour or something. I don't know. They're not doing a very good job of explaining who people are, where we are, what we're supposed to be taking away from any of it. What's up, Mick? The old Mixter's here. What's up, Mickey? Let's pause for a sec. Ronnie wants an adrenochrome and game stream. No, I'm just not interested. You see what happens to people. You see what happens to people when they get on that stuff and then they can't get it. Not good. Not too good. Good Brother said, imagining this movie is like a fever dream. I would imagine. It's almost a fever dream just watching it. Yo, no offense to anybody, but the music sucks. In this film, is that what you're talking about? You don't like the music so far, Jorphus? You think it'll get better by the end? Maybe once we get into the more intense sections of the film, the music will pick up and you'll like it. Alright, well, if anyone else has joined and you'd like to catch up, there is a link in the description. I'll just drop in the chat again for fun too, because that makes it simple, just in case. If you want to join and watch the film, follow that link I just sent in the chat or in the description of the video, wherever you prefer to click from. And we're going to go to, hold on. I saved you from having to hear that vicious sneeze that just happened. But yeah, we're at 21:30. 21 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're going to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. All right, we're getting a behind. We're getting like a backseat view of the guys driving this boat. Peter North is... Where is he? Is he in the backseat? Because this looks like... It's like a guy with... Is he wearing a hat now? He wasn't wearing a hat in the last scene. Now it looks like Peter North has like a navy blue kind of, what do they call that? Bucket hat. Kind of a bucket hat. And he's sitting next to Ned Beatty in the front seat. They're driving. So I guess we're to assume the elderly couple is sitting in the back seat. Or no, I'm sorry. The guy in the blue hat was the old guy. The 70-year-old man who might not actually be 70 years old. It looked like he was really old the first time they showed him, but now I'm like, well, maybe he's not that old. Maybe he's like in his early 50s. And Peter North is sitting in the back seat with, I guess, the older guy's wife. She does look really old. She looks like she's probably 75, 80, wearing her white cowboy hat. Now we've cut somewhere completely different. There are huts everywhere. There's a girl who just ran up. She looked like Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island, and she just ran into a hut. I don't know where this is. The music got kind of scary. She's wearing a dress. She ran into a hut. Now she ran out, and a black guy ran out behind her, and he's wearing a white t-shirt, and he ran over and grabbed some pipes and started banging on like a makeshift drum. Now we're cutting back to the people in the boat. Ned Beatty is maneuvering the boat around. They're continuing down the waterways. Peter North is now holding a gun. He's got a rifle and a cigarette, and he's smoking, and he's looking into the trees out in the swamp. He just threw his cigarette out. They just showed a snake climbing a tree, and it fell down into the water. What do they call that, a water moccasin? It's getting like a fever pitch, the music is. Now they cut away from the boat. We've got the native drums playing in the background, and they show what looks to be just like it looks like a residential house. I think it might be the house from the very beginning, because now they've panned over and they're showing that greenhouse. That kind of like plastic dome greenhouse. It's covering a swimming pool. And then they show they show the alligator. It's funny. They like go inside the greenhouse, and there's a big blue swimming pool, pristine, nothing in it. And then they want you to believe that the next shot where they're showing crocodiles or gators is actually a shot looking inside the pool. But it's like murky brown river water, when 2 seconds ago you were just looking at like an empty swimming pool. So not too good. The editing is leaving a bit to be desired here. And now the scientist from the beginning of the movie, the bald white guy, is walking out with his Indian assistant. He's kind of maneuvering his glasses around as he steps out onto the diving board. He's holding a box under his arm, looking in at his gators that are clearly not in the pool. Again, they've cut to the gators, and it's like a river scene. And he's throwing some fish down to the gators. And I can't stress enough how much this is not the swimming pool. I mean, they didn't even try. This is like 1962 National Geographic stock footage. And he's kind of continuing, tossing his fish in. He's thanking his assistant for questioning his work. No, this is not the Indian guy. Someone else with him now. It's his, whatever, it's his, maybe his understudy. He's telling him to go back to his laboratory. This guy looks kind of like Mike Adamle, who was Raw general manager for a while. He was also on American Gladiators. His understudy looks like Mike Adamle. You have to look him up if you don't know what I'm talking about. He looks a lot like him. He was like, go back to your lab. I want to see your work tonight. Get back to work. Now, the scientist, the main guy, is looking up to the top of the dome, and he saw a little salamander, and he smiled at it. Now the Indian guy's back. He said, somebody's coming here. Somebody's here. They're coming into the swamp. And he said, your drum idea has proved useful again. Scientist said, I highly doubt they'll find my little retreat, but if they do, I must play the good host, mustn't I? And they both started laughing together. And then we cut away, back to the boat. Continuing on through the bayou. Showing various shots of the swamp. Ned Beatty said, this is as far as we can go by boat. From here on in, we go the hard way. And now they're off the boat, and everyone's walking towards everyone's walking through the bayou, and I just realized something when they zoomed in. I'm going to pause for a second because I have to explain. So, everyone's off the boat now, and I now realize that it's not an elderly couple. There's not a 75 or 80-year-old woman with them. That's actually the young receptionist with the bouffant. But they only showed these really far away views of her up to that point, and she looked like very slight of stature, and she was wearing this like strange, really narrow cowboy hat, and it was covering like all of her hair, so all you saw was just white, and it gave the impression that her hair was totally white too. And then the guy with her, I guess, is the bartender, but you couldn't tell who he was because they're both wearing hats that you haven't seen them wearing before. Clothes you haven't seen them wearing before, and no one said anything. There was no introduction. Oh, hello, Mrs. Whatever. It was just like, it just looked like two random people. It was like, who are these people? I don't even know who this is supposed to be. But that's okay. That's who's on this island. That's who's been on the boat with Peter North. What's up, Sona? Hi. Just getting up to speed here. If you're interested in following along with this film, this would be a good time to jump in. I will. Oh, you can still see the link. Whatever, I'll send it again. Why not? If you want to join in, follow that link to the Curse of the Swamp Creature on YouTube. And we're going to be at 28 minutes and 12 seconds when we restart. And so there's some weird stuff going on in the bayou. There is a scientist who lives out somewhere in the swamp by himself. He's secluded. He's doing some sort of nefarious research, mad scientist type shit. And there are two people now, well, actually a group of 4 people, who are walking towards his compound, perhaps. He doesn't think anyone's going to stumble upon it. I bet that's what's going to happen. But he just told his assistant, I don't think they're going to find my compound, but if they do, well, I'll just have to be the good host. That's pretty much where we are right now. So we'll see what happens. I will restart it in 5, 4, 3, a 2, 1, click. Native drums are beating. I think that's his way of being alerted. They're showing a lady. I think that's maybe the Mary Ann lady. She's wearing something different now. Looks kind of like Mary Ann, like I said, from Gilligan's Island. She's wearing a white button-up kind of crop top. She's got her hair tied back with kind of a little bandana. The mad scientist is sitting across the room from her. He's smoking a cigarette. He said, "You don't have to understand or appreciate my work, but you mustn't let them know we have problems if we have visitors." He says, "Do you understand?" And he gave her the kind of crooked smile. And okay, now the doctor is with his understudy in a lab. They cut right to that. And he said, "That gill transplant's as fine as any eye can do." And they showed a gilled hand coming up through the smoke. I don't know what they're looking at. Like a bathtub full of smoke, and a hand just kind of came up like this, and it was gilled and webbed. To create life, to move it up and down on the evolutionary path at will. Something I don't think you quite appreciate, Tom. That's all for tonight, Tom. Good night. And that was their exchange. So he told him good work, but he's like, "I don't think you appreciate what's going on here." And now he's looking at the hand again, coming out of the smoke. He says, "Get ready. Awake. The sound of my voice is your master. Get up." He's trying to wake this creature. "Get up! The world awaits you as my first citizen." That's what he said to it. It's just showing his face, and then it's cutting back to the hand moving through the bubbling smoke. I don't know what this creature is contained in. It's just like a close-up of smoke and then a hand. They're not showing the container. He says, "No. Everything was functioning perfectly. What happened this time?" He's looking around, distraught. He grabs a piece of paper, starts flipping through some pages, and now we've cut away. So I guess sleepyhead creature's not waking up on time. And he's butthurt about it. He's a little pissed off. All right. Back in the bayou, in the swamp, Peter North, Ned Beatty, Bouffant lady, and the bartender have set up camp. Everyone except Bouffant is taking a sleepy nap, and she just walked over and she woke up the bartender. He says, "What is it?" "I'm frightened," she says. "I can't sleep too good, and I think I hear snakes crawling." So I'm not used to all this. Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's not the bartender from the original scene. It's the guy who is coming to meet the dude they killed, Driscoll West. It's Driscoll West's friend that Bouffant is out there with. Right? Because they're supposed to be trying to find the oil. They're looking for an oil field. And he just told her to fuck off and go back to sleep. She's like, "I'm scared. You can make it so much easier." "Yeah. Get out of here." Cut back the mad scientist still talking to the bubbling pool. And he says, "Next time I will not fail." And he's taking another body wrapped in a sheet out to his gator pool. That's not actually a gator pool. It's a perfectly fine, pristine swimming pool that we're to believe is a gator pool when they cut away to obvious stock footage of alligators or crocodiles from National Geographic. So just toss another body in. Another failed experiment, I guess. I don't know what happened. It seemed like it was like the hand was creeping along. It looked okay as creeping webbed fish hands go. But I guess because it didn't rise completely, he was like, fuck it. I'll start over again. I'll try again another time. And then he just dumped the whole body. He's like, we needed a full stand-up reaction here. Now he's creeping down a hallway. The mad scientist is. And he lightly, pensively grabs the door handle to someone's bedroom and he kind of cracks it. Opens a little bit further. Now he's in completely, standing at the foot of someone's bed. Oh, his understudy is asleep in his bedroom, and he's creeping up next to him, and he's pulling out something from his pocket. He draws the sheets down a little bit. Oh, it's a syringe. He's got a syringe, and he has just injected his understudy with some sort of cocktail of horse shit. And the understudy kind of twitched for a second and then collapsed back to bed. Now he's taken the covers completely off, and he is picking up his understudy. And I think he's going to carry him to the lab. I think I see what's going on here. I think he's going to use his understudy as his next experiment. Mad scientist draws another very large, oversized syringe, like a novelty syringe almost that you'd get from like Spencer Gifts. And he's injecting a dark fluid into his understudy's neck, maybe. They're kind of shooting this from across the room, so you can't see exactly where he's injecting it. It looked like it might have been in his neck, or maybe could have been his heart. Tough to tell from the angle. But the mad scientist is, I guess, now picking him up. Oh, now we can actually... Oh, I got to see the container for the first time. It looked like a large fish tank. A very large fish tank. And he was putting the body in there, but the fish tank was full of smoke. Or vapor of some kind. That's what was rolling. They were just getting a close-up of that, and they were showing the hand like creeping up through the smoke, but you couldn't tell what kind of container you were looking at. Now you could see the container. Now I can confirm it's a large fish tank. Just set on the floor. Okay, there go the drums again. Back out in the woods with the people looking around. You can't see jack nor shit here. It was so dark in the woods, all you could see were outlines of trees and hear people talking. Horrible shot. Okay, the Indian assistant is giving the mad scientist some intel. He said, I can't stop this guy from coming over here. He heard his son was seen here before he went missing. Now he's creeping up. And now the mad scientist is going out to meet this guy's dad. He said, you believe your son is here? Your son is not here. He's not been here. He fixed his glasses. And he says, "Do you understand? We have not seen your son." Kind of probably 60-year-old black man said, "My son was here. My son is gone. I just want to see the man who brought evil to us." And then he turns around and walks away. Because the mad scientist was like, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And he pulled out like a roll of money. He doesn't want it though. He just wants to find his son. He's not going to tolerate any more mistakes from his... He might not be Indian. I've been saying he was Indian. Now in this light, he might just be a black man. He said, "Doctor." When the mad scientist walked away, his assistant was like, "Doctor." Because he just got... kind of read him the riot act. He was like, "You're letting too many people slip through the cracks here, pal. You're fucking up. These people are going to find out my secrets. If you're again, it's not going to be good for you." So now, the guy who is looking for his son, he is, what is he? He set up a stick with a snake on it outside this mad scientist's house. Now we're looking at Mary Ann. This time she's wearing a kind of tight green outfit, shoulder straps. She's creeping into a room, and there's a black man sleeping. And then she enters into the laboratory. I guess that was maybe one of the mad scientist's guards, but he was napping on the job. And I don't know if Mary Ann is the mad scientist's wife, or if she's just hanging out. If she's like a friend, maybe his sister. But you get the impression in this scene, she's in the lab and she's not supposed to be there. She's looking around, there are cauldrons bubbling, beakers, what do they call them? What do they call those? Graduated cylinders. She's walked over to the tub, and she moved the smoke out of the way like this, and then she saw that the assistant's in there, and she said, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" He's hooked up to all these tubes, and she goes to leave the room, and she ran right into the mad scientist. And now she's run out of the house, or she's trying to. Oh! The black guy just got chopped in the stomach and then the back of the neck, like this. By the guy who I thought was an Indian, I don't think he's actually Indian. I think he's another black guy, just Louisiana guy. The mad scientist followed Mary Ann into her bedroom. He's had time to put on a full suit. He's wearing like dark sunglasses. She's like, "You killed Tom." He said, "Tom is not dead. Now you listen. He is part of my final experiment." She said, "He'd never volunteer for that. He doesn't want to be turned into one of your pet monsters." And then the mad scientist leaned forward and slapped her right in the face. He said, "Don't you ever say that. You're too stupid to understand my work," he says. And she's fallen down. She's fallen down the bed. He said, "I fear, my dear, you're going to put me in a very bad position." And she said, "Why don't you kill me right now?" "Kill you? I have no intention of killing you." And then he just leaves the room, implying that he's probably going to try to turn her into a sea creature as well. That's the impression that I get. She can't believe it. And now the guy who fell asleep on the job has been brought to the mad scientist and left with him. Mad scientist saunters up to him in this little dark hallway and he says, "Well, you failed me again. One more slip up and I'll have to dismiss you. Is that clear?" The guard says, Guard sits down, a little stool outside in the hallway, looks down the hallway like he's pissed off, and takes out a knife and he's start whittling something. Is that a proper reaction? You ever get so pissed off you just take out your knife and start whittling on the spot? All right, outside, out in the swamp. Not the mad scientist's understudy, but his main, what would you call him, his lackey. The guy from the very beginning who I thought was Indian, who's not. Just like an older black guy. Now he's running across the swamp to like a little hut area. He said, "More, it's time. It's time for gathering." And she's signing at him. And now she runs off. He said, "It's time for gathering." Kind of younger black lady. She runs. So, okay. She runs to the same hut where I thought it looked like Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island was running into. She comes out, and then a black guy follows behind her, and he kind of trots over. This is the same exact scene. They just reused this footage from earlier. He picks up the stick, starts banging on a makeshift drum. You've got the native drums happening now again. Just recycled footage from earlier in the film. And we're seeing Ned Beatty chopping through the forest with his machete. His friends following behind him. Cut back to the fucking laboratory. Mad Scientist is taking his nice suit off. He's back in his lab coat. Walking over to his little aquarium. Says, "At last you're going to contribute to science. Tom? Tom, are you listening? Nod your head if you are. You're doing fine," he says. "Fine. Strong. You can stay underwater indefinitely." And he did a smile like that. "You're almost bulletproof." "I'm envious of you, Tom." He leaned forward like that. "Oh, how clumsy of me. Let me get you a snack." And he puts on a pair of big rubber gloves. They look like pretty heavy duty ones. Not like exam gloves, but a thicker stock of rubber. And he's grabbed a turtle and he's holding it down in the smoke and he says, "Here, boy, here." And the little webbed hand comes up and grabs it and you hear some crunching. Like this. Okay, now the mad scientist's wife is speaking through the door. She's talking to the security guard who accidentally fell asleep on the job and let her into the lab. And she said, "You gotta help me. You gotta help me. His name's Tracker. Tracker, can you hear me? You gotta help me. Look. I know he doesn't treat you any better than he treats me. We can both get away tonight. Tracker, please, please, help. He gets up. He kind of walks towards the door and then he looks down the hallway. He's looked down the hallway. He was about to open the door, but then he sat back down and started whittling again because the doctor was coming. Doctor smiles at him, puts his hands in his pockets. Well, Tracker, glad to see you're still on the job. He wants him to go and find the intruders. So I can't have them find me. Perhaps it would be best if you brought them here, he said to Tracker. So Tracker's heading out. Mad Scientist leans towards the door. Hello, darling. He's kind of caressing the wood frame. Still using that imagination of yours? Don't worry. Everything will be much better very soon. Very soon. Caressing the door frame with his one finger. Very soon. Now she goes back and sits on the bed. Fully cleavage showing in the camera. Tracker's outside now. He's out in the swamp. He's looking up at the trees. He's trying to find the intruders. He's trying to find Ned Beatty and Peter North and Buffont and Driscoll West's friend. They're heading out. They're walking through. Here's Ned Beatty. He puts his hand out like this. Hold on, stop. Because he's leading the charge. He's leading them through the swamp right now. And hold on. And you don't even see the encounter. Now they cut to a scene where Tracker, if you're trying to picture him, he kind of looks like a little overweight Tony Todd. And Tracker was leading the group of them over a bridge towards the house. Now we cut back to the Mad Scientist. You said, you're ready to come off the preserver. You are going to be my indestructible fish man. And he's got his glove pulled up like this. He was pulling on it. I let it go. You will obey all my commands. You will obey all my commands. I am your master. You will live when I say live, and you will die when I say die. Obedience is the key to survival. Obedience is the key to survival. He keeps doing weird things with his mouth like this. He'll do like he does these quick little smiles like a half. What is it? He said, what is it? And then he did the smile again, looked around. He said, good, Marcy. Have them wait in the living room. I'll be there in a moment. So I guess Tracker has arrived back to his house with Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty's impressed with the little house they've walked into. He's like, would you believe it? Look at the layout. Look at that crazy fan. And it's just a regular ceiling fan. So the four intruders are sitting in Dr. Livingston's living room. No, he said, I'm Dr. Simon Trent. Okay, we got Barry Rogers, Richie. What's his name? Rat Guy? She called him Rat Guy. It was Ned Beatty. So now the doctor's sitting down. He crosses his legs. He says, what a surprise. What a pleasant one. Like he's glad to have visitors. I don't get visitors very often, especially ones as beautiful as you. He's, Oh, we're looking for oil, she tells him. Well, how can you look for oil without equipment? The doctor says. The doctor says, well, if there's any oil around here, I'd be very surprised. Mad scientist tells the geologist they have a lot in common. He's like, we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common. You're a scientist. I'm a scientist. We both like science. Now someone is bringing refreshments to them. He says wife contracted a strange illness. That's why she's not around. He wants everyone to stay the night with him. I can't have you go back out in the swamp tonight. Why don't you stay the night with me? We can put some cots in here for the men. It'll be fun. The geologist says, anything's better than that cold, cold ground. He's going to show them his pride and joy. The indoor shower, the only one for 50 miles. When you want a shower, pull the chain. So he showed them all to the bathroom. Oh, they see the locked door. He said, that's my wife's room. I keep it locked from the outside because she sleepwalks when the fever hits her. She's talking through the door. She said, who's with you? He just walked in. He said, we'll be in the living room. Why don't you dress for dinner? I thought he just told everyone that she was sick and she couldn't join them. Maybe she's gotten better. He's talking about his love of a certain theory of evolution. The oceanic theory, is that what he called it? He's naming all these different reptiles. He's just naming reptiles. Salamanders, dinosaurs, geckos, newts, snakes. That's it in a nutshell. I believe in the basic theory. Swamps provide me with all the necessary things I need to investigate. Alligators, snakes, crocodiles, stingrays, beef sandwich. Okay, now his wife's walked in. She's wearing a nice evening dress. A pink evening dress. Just a slight bit of cleavage showing. She has kind of a slight bouffant on top as well. She's looking around, a little nervous. She's like, well, we haven't had any visitors in over a year. Thanks for coming. You know. And then she just left the room again. The geologist said, you certainly have a lovely wife, doctor. He sits down and says, yes. Yes, she is. Though I'm afraid she made a bad bargain when she married me. Taking her to the farthest corners of the earth. The most remote places. He says, you must excuse her if she seems preoccupied. She's got a bad fever. Okay. Back out in the swamp, native drums are pounding. The black lady that I first thought was Marianne, but is not Marianne. She's kind of gyrating to the native drums, doing a kind of herky-jerky dance. Stuff like that. Kind of with the arms and things, and everyone's clapping like a rhythm. She's got a colorful kind of dress on. Looks like a bunch of flags hanging from her dress. Like she's about to play a very intense game of flag football. And then they show a skull sitting up on top of some sort of platform. Now Ned Beatty and Peter North are sitting out near a dock. They're by the river again, in the bayou. Ned Beatty's talking about how the mad scientist has a fine-looking wife, and then Peter North's like, I noticed. I get it. I saw it. I saw that cleavage. Now here comes Tracker. I think it's Tracker. Is it? Yeah, it's Tracker. He walks up. Peter North said, "Good evening. What's up?" And Tracker's just kind of stand there, shifty-eyed. Like, what's wrong? They're asking him questions, and he's just standing there smoking. Tracker's just smoking a cigarette. So what's all the drumming? Now he's finally answering. What's the drumming? Tracker says, when there's something to get done, they get together. These people do snake magic. They worship snakes. That's all. They do a dance. He said, it's not my place to tell you about it. Peter North wants to go see, and Tracker says we can't do that. Because if they caught us, it would be bad. Peter North says, I'll take the chance. Ned Beatty doesn't want to go. He said, count me out. I don't wander around out there at night. Peter North is going with Tracker. He says, let's go see the snake dance. So now Tracker's taking him over to where the girl's dancing, and the native drums are pounding, and she's holding up like a blue mug. Looks like a blue mug. Just like a blue coffee mug. And everyone's clapping for it. It's the sacred coffee mug of endurance. And now someone else. She handed the mug to a guy with like some little horn decorations, and he got up, and now he has picked her up. She has jumped up, and she's wrapped her legs around him, and he's holding her, and they're both dancing to the tribal drums. Tracker and Peter North are now sneaking up from the side, trying to get a glimpse of what's happening. She's doing this dance with her arms like this towards him. He's holding her. They're about face to face. She's got her legs wrapped around him, and she keeps doing this. Now they're both on their feet, doing a more like twirly dance. Everyone's clapping. The fires are burning. They've got it looks like an effigy of maybe the mad scientist. It's like a lab coat hanging from a tree. And the dance continues. The drums beat. Everyone around the ring is just clapping, keeping time. The dance continues. The guy with the horns jumped up and he stabbed at the effigy with a spear. North said, "What's that thing with the spears in it?" Tracker said, "That's supposed to be Dr. Was that an actual doctor?" Said that was Dr. Trent. So that was, I guess that wasn't supposed to be an effigy. That was supposed to be an actual dead body, but it clearly was not. I thought it was just like a dummy. Why is Black Bowser dancing with a blues singer? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know why anything's happening here. Okay, back at the house, Buffont receptionist is going to bed. The scientist's wife wants to speak to Barry, the geologist. She said, "I've been wanting to talk to you." She said, "I'm in trouble. My husband, the mad scientist, is a mad scientist. He's been saying, oh, he's insane." She said, "He's insane." She said, "Please listen to me. It's true." He finds her story hard to believe. And she's like, "How hard to believe?" "Then why don't you go in there and see for yourself?" She wants him to go look at the fish mang, I bet. He said, "I ain't going in there." He said, "I don't see what I can do. After all, I'm just a geologist. I can't interfere in his business." He said, "If you can't help, there is no one else." And she left the room. She goes into the laboratory. She's looking into the vat. The rolling smoke. She said, "You believed in his work. This is your reward." And she's turning a big knob. She's turning all the knobs that she can find. And she's pulling all of the tubes out of the aquarium. And her husband just walked in. "Uh-oh. You fool. You stupid fool. Do you know what you've done? You killed him." "He's you meddler. Always the meddler." And now he's thrown her into maybe a walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler. He said, "You won't cause any trouble in there." Now back out. Yeah, that's totally not a dead body. Unless maybe they were just, I don't know. The mad scientist is, everything was going beautifully. For the first time, everything was controlled. She turned it off early before you were ready. Live. He's telling Tom to live. Live. Breathe. 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 He's super butthurt because she ruined his experiment. What did Ned Beatty say? He just walked outside and he said, "Bitches! Bitches! Bitches!" Okay, the mad scientist again in his lab. He says, "It's finished. You succeeded." He's dead. She yells through the wall and she says, "You mean it's dead?" Scientist lets out a heavy sigh. Now he's wrapped up another body, heading out to his little greenhouse swimming pool, stepping up to the fucking diving board that he loves to do so much. He always has to walk out on the diving board to do this. He can't just do it from the side of the pool. What?
I had to go and see this.
And there's the murky river water that's clearly not the pool. That was supposed to be in the pool. He said, "Goodbye, Tom." And now he's sauntering off. Sad panda back to his lab. He opens up a little cooler. Maybe he's going to get a Dr. Pepper. No, I think he got a syringe. His wife is screaming to be let out. You got some building music playing in the background here. and he reverses course and goes out into the living room. The geologist is asleep on the floor in a sleeping bag, got some pillows piled up. Mad scientist kind of inspecting the scene. He did the stupid smile again. He's like, Jorphus wonders how the police never found any bones or blood in that pool. I'm guessing they don't get many cops out here. It seems like they're fairly secluded. So he's left, the mad scientist left the living room. He left the geologist alone. And now he has wandered down the hall into another bedroom. Gently closes the door behind him as he comes in. He's taking out his syringe. Doing little tippy steps towards the bed. It looks like he's about to inject the bouffant lady. Yeah. He's getting that syringe ready. He's injected her and he's taking her to his lab. She's limp as limp can be. He's taking her to the lab. And my guess, he's probably going to throw her in that vat in his little aquarium of smoke and vapors. He said, "You're a perfect subject for the new derivatives. I believe you will be an instantaneous transmutation." And he's unfolding something. And I guess the people at the native dance are still out there, still going. He said, "You must become the instrument of revenge. You are protected. Go!" He's wearing like a voodoo mask, this guy. He's telling all the people to become an instrument of revenge. Okay. Now Tracker and Peter North are heading back. Guess they've seen enough. They saw what they needed to see. Looks like Tracker's creeping around in the little native village. Sophisticated. I mean, they're doing like native dancing and whatnot, but everyone's wearing like street clothes and they've got tennis shoes on. But they're playing native drums and they're doing these kind of old-fashioned sorts of routines, worshiping snakes and whatnot. But now Tracker has followed one of these guys, the voodoo priest maybe, into his little hut. And he shanked him. And the voodoo priest was actually the right-hand man of the doctor. The elderly guy who I thought was Indian, but was just a black guy. And now Tracker picks up the voodoo priest mask and he throws it down on top of him. So now that guy's dead. And now Peter North is scampering through the forest. He's following the younger black lady who had the dress, who was doing the voodoo dancing. He's following her back to her house. She's walked into a bedroom and she's kind of stretching and sits down at her vanity, kind of primping her hair after an intense dancing session. She just looked in the mirror. She's like, "Oh, hold on. Peter North has followed me into my home." And she stands up and she's looking at him and he said, "I've been watching you dance." He says, be good, baby. There's nobody here but us chickens." That's what he said. Nobody here but us chickens. And now she's kind of giving him bedroom eyes. She's never seen this guy before in her life. But it was a trick. She grabbed his arm and she did a judo throw down onto her bed. Now she's escaping, running through the forest, running over a bridge, through the swamplands. He's continuing to chase her. Peter North continues to give chase. She's running around the corner here. She's round the corner. She's on a path. She's going down the path, heading over to the river.
Oh no.
Big murky river. There's some bubbles coming up from the bottom. Could be suggestive of alligators or crocodiles. She's found a hiding spot in the trees.
Good luck. Oh.
And here comes North. He's looking around. It's like, where'd she go? She was signing to him because he found her, and now he's creeping towards her and she's signing like this. But she pushed him into the water, and now he's like, hold on a second. Hold on. Help me. It's quicksand. Help me, please. Help me. I won't hurt you. Help me, please. And he's getting lower every time they cut back to her and then cut back to him. He's, water's bubbling up. You see his hand. And now he's gone. And she's shedding several tears for him, even though he was likely just attempting to rape her. He got drowned in the quicksand, though. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit in that case. Oh, what was that? They showed the mad scientist, and they showed a close up of a monster fish face with eyes bulging and sharp teeth. And now Ned Beatty just ran out of the house, and there were a group of people waiting outside for him, all the people who were doing the snake dancing, and there was a guy in the front with a rifle, and he just shot Ned Beatty in the stomach. And now here comes the geologist outside after he heard the gunshot. He sees Ned Beatty and he rolls him over on the ground. He's like, "Hey, Ned, wake up." And he looks up. The mob of people is standing there looking at him now. They're all staring him down. They're staring down the geologist. The mad scientist is in the house. He's looking through the window, and then he creeps back away and then goes into his lab. He's like, "Get up. Get up. My enemies are here." Oh, and they showed the fish face. It's like, it looks like a big rubber. It's like a green rubber mask with like bulging, like slit eyes, like a cat's eyes, kind of. And these two fangs sticking out the front. And he's like, "Come, come." The fish monster's getting up. His wife is still trapped. She said, "What's happening out there?" They just showed a close-up of her eyes, and she's like, "What's going on? What's happening?" Now the fish monster walks outside. Bald. I guess this was the lady. Right? Is that what it's supposed to be? The lady? The bouffant lady? Totally bald now. Kind of creeping, wearing this patient's robe. All white. And kind of creeping like this. With eyes bulging. And the two little fangs in the front. And the big, like, rubbery head. The eyes kind of look like Beetlejuice's eyes when he turns into the snake. At the top of the Dietz's staircase. That's what the eyes remind me of. The geologist finally enters the lab and lets the mad scientist's wife out. Now she's crying. He said, "There's a crowd out there that's in a killing mood. We got to get out of here." I don't think he's even seen the monster. The mad scientist has followed the monster into the greenhouse, and he's pointing out the mob, and he's like, "You got to kill them. Kill them." But the monster is just kind of like chomping on air. the mad scientist is like, Brenda, that's the bouffant lady who's been turned into the monster. He's like, he did this to you. Don't listen to him. You were a beautiful girl. Look what he's turned you into. And now the monster's kind of looking. Brenda's looking at herself. She's like, he's only using you. Stop, Brenda. Look what he's done to you. Look what he's done. He's destroyed you. You gotta stop. And the scientist, standing between both of them, he's like, no. No. Brenda walked over and went like this. Slapped him in the head. And now he's picked up the doctor. And he said, no. 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 Ah. 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 That's how he screamed. Ah. And then the Brenda monster threw him in off the diving board and then fell right in behind him on purpose. And now we get the National Geographic scenes of the Crocs and the Gators ripping both of them to pieces and shreds. And the music building. And the Gators are chewing on the hospital gowns and whatnot. And now I guess everyone fucked off after that. And they just did the Wes Anderson zoom in on the mad scientist's wife as she's getting ready to board an airplane with the geologist. He shakes hands with, oh, I guess they're going on a different plane. So it looks like the geologist and the mad scientist's wife are going to be a couple now. They're getting on a plane, like a private plane together. And taking off as the triumphant music plays. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. And there they go. Off into the sky. And that is Curse of the Swamp Creature from 1966 from Larry Buchanan. There you go. Curse the Swamp Creature. How about that, huh? How about that? Well, thanks, Sona. I think I performed better than the people in the movie did, to be honest. Jorfa said not only did the music suck, but there was a lot of bad acting. Bad acting, bad cinematography, bad use of stock footage. And some things to be desired as the story goes, and explaining, going from shot to shot. Some of the cuts were very jarring. You want to see the tribal dance again? The one I remember is when she was kind of doing that. When the guy had her picked up and her legs were around him and her face was like, their faces were like this far apart, but she had this kind of thing going on. And then when they got down, it was more of like more of a jerking kind of thing like that. Just from memory. It's not perfect, but that's kind of the gist of it, I think. Oh, you know what? There's the Swamp Master right there. The creature. I forgot it was on that fucking TV. It's right there. Only, for some reason, that picture, it looks like it's got a flat head. It doesn't. The head was all bulbous, you know. It was a very big rubbery head. Jorfer said, bro in the quicksand scene was like, please help me. I'm actually fine. That's why I'm not genuinely scared, but help me. Yeah, they didn't sell the terror very well in this one. But how could you, really? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Sona's crying. My dancing skills have brought her to tears. So moving. I understand like saving the monster for the big reveal, but sometimes you can go too far with that to where you barely see anything scary at all. Like even the big reveal is underwhelming. For one thing, the creature design was kind of shit. But even beyond that, it's like he didn't really do anything. It was she. It was Brenda, the bouffant clerk. She's the one who ends up getting transformed into the creature you see on your screen there. The titular swamp creature. She didn't really do much. She slaps the guy. She slaps the doctor like this. Like a really half-assed, just... If you watch the film, it looks like that. It's like... And then he falls down. The next scene, she's carrying him. Like he didn't even try to get away. I don't really care. I'm just saying it's silly. But that's what it all led up to. It was like, oh, wake up! You've got to listen to me, please. You're the what? What was he trying to do? Prove that he could control evolution, and then control the creatures that he created. You are the proof that my experiments worked, that my life's work was not a waste. Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And they didn't wake up fast enough, and he just threw them in to the alligators. Like the one was moving at the beginning. He had just had his hands up like 2 seconds before he decided to, all right, fuck it. Nope. Not fast enough. It's like he was trying to speed run his evolution project. He's like, oh, come on, rise, wake up, wake up. Oh, look at the fish hand. Yes, this is it. And then it goes back down for a second. He's like, all right, that's all. Fuck it. And then just turns the thing off and then throws the body out to the alligators. So I think he was a little impatient. I don't think he was a very good scientist, even for a mad scientist. He wasn't a very good one. He didn't do a good job. So it was a pretty boring film. If you had to like sit there and just watch it yourself, if you weren't like, if I wasn't live streaming and making a spectacle out of the whole thing, then if I wasn't making a spectacle out of the whole thing, then that wouldn't have been a very enjoyable experience, you know. So I wouldn't recommend it. As usual, I always tell people, even if something's shitty, it's like, I'm not telling you not to watch it. I don't like saying that to people. I don't like saying, skip this. Don't waste your time with this. I mean, if you want to, go for it. I wouldn't watch it again. And not every movie is worth watching, in my opinion. But if you don't believe me, by all means, check it out for yourself. It's free. If you want to sit and watch it for yourself without me talking over it, go for it. I'm not going to recommend you do that. I would probably recommend you find something else because there are many better films out there that you've never seen. There have to be. So I can't recommend watching this one. but I'm not forbidding you from doing so. Sona said we need ratings from people back then. Yeah, I wonder how this movie reviewed when it came out in 1966. I wonder if we could find any reviews. Maybe I'll have to get on that, do some detective work. Sona's going to ask her grandma about it. She was like 8 and might remember. Maybe it showed, at like the drive-in or a special creature feature one night. This dude's still streaming? Yeah, we watched a damn movie, Ronnie. How are you surprised? We watched an entire film here in the Chillout zone. Just chilling out watching a movie. Of course. But yeah, the movie was trash. I'm going to give this one. Shit. I mean, there's no reason to rewatch it again. None. It was just boring and had a bad creature. The creature didn't do anything. Very anticlimactic ending. I'll give it just because I know what? Because people worked on it? That's not a reason. Is that a reason to even give you a single point? Just because someone worked on it? Does just working on something entitle you to a point? Even a 1? Is there anything at all about it that was worthy? Jorfa said nope. I didn't like anything about it. I'm going to give it 0 super divorces out of a possible 1,000 super divorces. 0. 0 super divorces for Curse of the Swamp Creature. Because it's like I could give it a... What am I going to give it? I could give it 200. I could give it 100 or 50 or 25. But then I'm thinking like, well, what is it about this movie that even makes it worth giving those few points to? I just don't have anything. There's nothing about it that I liked. Why would I give it a single point? Out of charity? I'm not here to be charitable. I'm here to be honest. And honestly, there was nothing I liked about it. Sona said, damn. And Jorfa said, you know what? Fuck being nice. 0 out of 1,000. 0 Mr. Jorfases out of a possible 1,000 Mr. Jorfases for Curse the Swamp Creature. It's like, if you're going to be a bad horror film, you've got to have something that would, like, entertain me enough to want to come back and at least check out a little bit of it again. And there's nothing here. So that's why. That's why we're being harsh.
Somebody wanted to say goodnight again.
Good night.
Oh, good night.
He's got the croup.
Oh, no. You're not feeling well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daddy say I got the croup.
Okay. What's that?
That's just a cap.
Here, give it to Daddy.
It's a bottle cap.
Oops. Daddy watched a poopy movie. It was a poopy, silly movie.
It was poopy.
Say 0 super divorces.
No, okay.
Say it was all poopy.
All poopy.
I can't.
Okay, he can't.
Okay, say love you, Daddy.
I love you, Daddy.
Love you too. Night night.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Say have a good night.
Have a good night.
Okay, well, he doesn't want any medicine, so I'm just going to put him back to bed.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Sona said good night.
Good night.
Yeah. JJ gets it right. He said you get nothing. Zilch, nada. Good day, sir. And, oh, look, cool. Belated Gazenbolis over on Twitch says, can you guess? Can you guess what this person on Twitch is saying? They're saying, best viewers on streamboo.com. And then, whatever, at some bullshit. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Why do people waste their time with that shit? Why would you waste your time? What's the conversion rate? How do people not realize that is a complete waste of time? To go into a random live stream and leave a message like that. Has it ever led to a single conversion? I'd like to know. Because I can't even imagine it leading to one. I can't imagine a single time where someone was like, oh, best viewers are on streamboo.com. I better click through. I better click through and sign up. Stupid. I don't even know. Maybe I can do that. Let me see. Not that it really matters because they'll just create another account and they'll be right back, you know, if they ever want to. Deletes for the delete god, bans for the ban hammer. Wonder if they're still there. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Can I... Well... Yeah, I don't know. It won't let me do it from my phone. Maybe there's a way to do it. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. But there you go. I guess tomorrow night we will hop on here for some Legos. And I don't know which... I don't think we talked about which Lego set we were going to do. I guess it will be a surprise when we start it up. So 10 p.m. tomorrow night, we'll get that kind of shit happening here. As for now, if you haven't done so, please sub to the channel. And you don't have to bong the gong for notifications because it doesn't really matter. If you stop by the channel at 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, you'll see the live streams. That's when I go live. Jorfer said he would only accept a bot's link if it said check the best big booty Latinas in bigbootylatinas.com. Well, yeah, Legos and spicy reading. We'll do a few selections maybe from the Hallmark cozy smut. But yeah, sub the channel, stop by for a live stream, 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And what else? What else here? If you'd like to join the channel, you can do that. 3 different tiers to choose from. You can go check those out. Just it's under join the channel. Under join. Become a member. Want to be a member? Want to be a member? Yes. You can join. You get emotes and access to special badges to show how long you've been a member. And you get other cool stuff like access to the Discord, which I think a few of you still haven't joined yet. Maybe you're not on Discord. I've got some members who aren't in there. I know that much. Also, at the middle tier, the Super Divorce tier, you could get a monthly Super Divorce Super Zine. A zine, an old-fashioned paper zine, a floppy paper zine that I will send to you in the mail with japes and jokes, reviews, pineapple tidbits, you know. We'll have comics, little comic strips, artwork. We'll have movie reviews and music reviews and all sorts of shit thrown in there. And that's still coming together. I'm actually working on it right now. I was working on it earlier today. I'll have issue number 1 ready to go pretty soon. That's going to be sent out to everyone who subscribes at the Super Divorce level. And then the highest tier there, the Super Duper Divorce level, gets you a monthly cassette tape featuring a cover song and a brand new demo track that could be on the next Super Divorce album. And you're like, what do you mean cover song? What do you mean album? Well, I also play music from time to time. If you want to check it out, you can do so on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you stream your horse shit. You can find Super Divorce. Just type in Super Divorce, click on the song you're choosing, and give it a shot, please. If you like what you hear, you can go to superdivorceme.com and pick up a CD, a cassette tape, or even a vinyl record. Check out those tunes. Any way you choose to support is much appreciated around here. So, the link is dead, says Sona. Like right now? The link is dead? Is it dead? It shouldn't be dead. I just updated it to make sure because someone else had trouble joining, and I went in and I refreshed it and I tried it out and it looked like it was active and everything. So maybe check again if possible. I don't know if you still have access to that. If you could confirm that, that would be cool, because then I could try to troubleshoot it some more. But it looked to me like it was working just fine. If it's not, then I'll go and take another gander. That's okay, Jess. No problem. What else here? Just got a little bit of popcorn left. I'll save that up. I'll have to check for your email, Sona. So I've not seen that. Oh, here's something I was going to run by everybody. I know we talked about doing the bonnet stream for this game right here, the Strawberry Shortcake Sweet Dreams game, but I thought that might be a good game for the next Super Duper Divorce, the Sweet Dreams game from Strawberry Shortcake. I thought that might be good fodder for an episode of the Super Duper Divorce program. What would you guys think of that? Instead of just a live stream. I feel like, not many games get that treatment, so it's kind of an honor if you're featured on the Super Duper Divorce program. If you're on an episode of that requires quite a bit more care, attention to detail. It gets more of an ample spotlight, I think. You've confirmed the link is dead right now for the damn Discord. Well, son of a bitch. Well, I'll have to try and solve that. If you emailed, then I'll try and get you like a custom link and see if I can figure that out. Okay, Justin said fine by him. We'll definitely get a bonnet in there. No worries. Jorfus likes the idea too. Yeah, don't worry about that. There will be bonnets. It's like the Daniel Day-Lewis film. There will be bonnets coming soon. That's about all I got for tonight, though, guys. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling here on Friday night. And if anyone feels so inclined, stop on by tomorrow at 10 p.m. And we'll be back with Legos and fun and erotic fiction. Cozy erotic fiction. Until next time, everyone. Take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.